Reading through the entire Bible, one chapter a day. This is the introduction to the book of Psalms from the Message translation of the Bible. Most Christians for most of the Christian centuries have learned to pray by praying the Psalms. The Hebrews, with several centuries of a head start on us in matters of prayer and worship, provided us with this prayer book that gives us a language adequate for responding to the God who speaks to us. The stimulus to paraphrase the Psalms into a contemporary idiom comes from my lifetime of work as a pastor. As a pastor, I was charged with, among other things, teaching people to pray, helping them to give voice to the entire experience of being human, and to do it both honestly and thoroughly. I found that it was not easy. It's not as easy as I expected. Getting started is easy enough. The impulse to pray is deep within us, at the very centre of our created being. And so practically anything will do to get us started. Help and thanks are our basic prayers. But honesty and thoroughness don't come quite so spontaneously. Faced with the prospect of conversation with the Holy God who speaks worlds into being, it's not surprising that we have trouble. We feel awkward and out of place. I'm not good enough for this. I'll wait until I clean up my act and prove that I am a decent person. Or we excuse ourselves on the grounds that our vocabulary is inadequate. Give me a few months or years to practice prayers that are polished enough for such a sacred meeting, then I won't feel so stuttery and ill at ease. My usual response when presented with these difficulties is to put the Psalms into a person's hand and say, "Go home and pray these." You've got wrong ideas about prayer. The praying you find in these Psalms will dispel the wrong ideas and introduce you to the real thing. A common response of those who do what I ask is surprise. They don't expect this kind of thing in the Bible. And then I express surprise at their surprise. Did you think these would be the prayers of nice people? Did you think the psalmist's language would be polished and polite? Untutored, we tend to think that prayer is what good people do when they are doing their best. It's not. Inexperienced, we suppose that there must be an insider language that must be acquired before God takes us serious in our prayer. This is not. Prayer is elemental, not advanced language. It is the means by which our language becomes honest, true, and personal in response to God. It is the means by which we get everything in our lives out in the open before God. But even with the Psalms in their hands and my pastoral encouragement, people often tell me that they still don't get it. In English translation, the Psalms often sound smooth and polished, Ceronius, with Elizabethan rhythms and diction. As literature, they are beyond compare. But as prayer, as the utterance of men and women passionate for God in moments of anger and praise and lament, these translations miss something. Grammatically, they are accurate. The scholarship undergirding the translation is superb and devout, but as prayers, they're not quite right. The Psalms in Hebrew are earthy and rough. They're not genteel. They are not the prayers of nice people, couched in cultural language. And so in my pastoral work of teaching people to pray, I started paraphrasing the Psalms into the rhythms of idiom of contemporary English. I wanted to provide men and women access to the immense range and the terrific energies of prayer in the kind of language that is most immediate to them. which also happens to be the language in which these psalm prayers were first expressed and written by David and his successors. I continue to want to do that, convinced that only as we develop raw honesty and detailed thoroughness in our praying do we become whole, truly human in Jesus Christ, who also prayed the Psalms. Join me tomorrow for Psalm chapter 1.